Welcome to Caching Waves. This is an Eliott Wave update for Chainlink. I'm going to get into the micro count, but just wanted to show you my primary out on the 4 hour. That is that we have a 5-wave move to the upside as an Eliott Wave impulse from the 476 low. Now, taking our wave 1 and 2 for our extension for our third wave target at 1421, we came just above that. Our fourth wave we expect between the 236 and the 50 of the entire third wave. We got that here. And then we take the extension of our wave 1, extend that off of wave 4. That's our 1-to-1 at 2169. So very nice impulse. You can see the pitchfork wasn't ideal, but once we start drifting outside of that, I consider this a completed wave. Now looking for a larger version of this 1 and 2 before we launch for our third of the third on the larger degree. Now one thing I didn't like about this count, which might change my bias in the future, is the fact that this B wave made a higher high above the wave 1, so this becomes more complex. This is W, X, Y, X, Z if the bottom holds. Now this can change my point of view. If we end up making one more low, this would change the count, but as per now, if a low is in at 1105, this would be my finished correction count. Now we're going to go down to the smaller time frames and talk about the current wave forming out. Now last time I gave two options. One was an impulse. We were looking for this to be a 1-2-1-2. If that were the case, we were expecting quite a large third wave. This is why we always have alternative counts. You can see that is clearly not panning out. The only way that would pan out currently, maybe find this a little bit educational, is if our wave 2 got extended out and we make some sort of flat, which is a bullish move, but you're relying only on the fact that this is a flat at this point. So in any situation where you're bullish at this point, I would want to at least hedge below this level, where this would be an ABC. And then you're expecting your third wave to start your count from there. I believe it fits pretty much perfect as a BNX zone. You can see that pivot right in our zone, 1.236 and 1.382, extension of wave A. So if we get a pivot here at the 1-to-1, right there, we can still get that third wave to the upside. But you can see this count is getting quite ugly. The uglier it gets, the less likely it is to happen. Right now I have this as a flat and this is a flat, which if we are in a bull market, that's an extremely bullish move. Just to be clear, I've seen it happen many times. But if we're going with guidelines, this is actually something different. And I'm going to show you what that is. Now we talked about this in the previous video. This can also be a diagonal. We got a double zigzag for our wave 1, ABC for our wave 3, double zigzag for our wave 5. And you know, I usually target the 618 to the 786, so the previous wave for our pivot. Boom, there it is. So if this is our top in, again, this just makes a larger wave 1 and 2. And we'd be looking for our third to the upside. So you can see how important it is for this area to hold in the bullish scenario where these are two running flats. Now if you start getting impulsive, you see a nice micro 5 wave and then a nice sideways move. This is where you can start to get confident that that's the move coming, right? So it's important to watch this price action in real time. But the most probable thing to happen right now in the bullish scenario is that this is just a diagonal. Same, we look between a 382 and the 618. We expect this to eat some time and make some sort of ABC out into the future. But I will make sure to update this and make sure you guys have all the wave count options available. But right now, the most bullish scenario is just that 1-2-1-2 with two flats, which possible, but goes against a few guidelines, not rules, just guidelines. Even still, if we have this as a 1 2 1 2, you can see how long the second 1 2 1 2 is. So it seems a little bit unlikely. But another thing to keep in track too is say it is a 1 2 1 2 and this ends up just starting to explode, right? Which is kind of what would happen if this is two flats in a row. You can see my 1-to-1 there. That's the invalidation level of a diagonal. So currently wave 3 is shorter than wave 1 in this scenario. So in turn, wave 5 must be shorter than wave 3. And that's at 1595. You'll have to check your own exchange for that. It's just this third wave pivot off the wave 4 and you get the 1-to-1. So an option, what I'm going to do most likely here is hedge. Once I get a little bit of a pullback, I'll hedge. But I have a pretty good entry on this right now. And then if we start to move out impulsively, something like this, I'll put my hedge stop above that 1595 and just let it run, and I'll relabel it a 1 2 1 2 and let it go. All right, I know it's kind of a confusing area right now. One thing I do not love on that larger term count is the fact that we've only come to a 382. So it's either extremely bullish or we need to make another move to the downside, right? So we'll see how this count holds up. We do have two options, again, that 1 2 1 2 or the diagonal. So if we start to sell off quickly, make a correction up and show indications of more of a sell-off, we might have to consider the fact that we need a new low. But until that fact comes to us, we stay bullish because everything else appears bullish as well. All right, guys, so that's it for Chainlink. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.